I gotta say, I was not expecting this. We roll up. We ain't just doing the shop tour today. We got a yard tour, shop tour, equipment, everything. Mark's Multiple is absolutely killing it, man. And this is mind blowing to me. It's pretty nuts.
How are you?
I'm all right, brother. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Mark's Multiple, my guy Mark.
How's it going?
He hit me up on Instagram. He's seen a couple of the shop tours I did, and so we're here today at one of his job sites. We're gonna go take a look at his shop later on, but right now let's go ahead and get into what he got going on here. What's this, some storm damage?
No, this is actually a retaining wall.
Retaining wall.
Yeah, we were doing some storm damage earlier over in Wilkinsburg. That's just sometimes what we'll do is we have a big project going on, and then we try and do little stuff throughout too. So just to keep things rolling, because the little stuff's just as important as the big stuff, you know. So this is our 450 dump. Had it for a couple years. Pulls a lot of rock, a lot of block, a lot of logs. Really depends. But yeah, it's been good. Hauls weight, it's just gas, but we're cool with gas. It's a lot less maintenance.
I agree.
Oil changes and I keep the bed greased up, that kind of stuff. And then yeah, so we got the wall going on here. Somebody else started this job, and then they didn't want to finish it. So I was like, we'll do it, you know. This is a 95-foot wall. We're gonna reinforce it with geogrid. The base took a while, obviously, but yeah, it's shaping out pretty nice. So it's gonna be 4 foot, so it's gonna be like right up in here. We're gonna do charcoal caps on it. We got the drain in behind it. Ran out of gravel yesterday. This is all already packed. So yeah, this is a pretty long project. I'm actually going away on vacation next week, but they're gonna keep it rolling. So hopefully they can get a lot done while I'm gone.
Right. So how long you been in business?
So I started in 2015, but I've been doing trees and stuff since I was like 14. So I guess that's 10 years now.
How old are you? So
24.
24 years old.
Yeah.
You got a couple crews?
Yeah, so we're kind of in like, we're always growing, but we're in like a intermediate stage right now. Like I have 3 guys who are like dedicated to maintenance, like trimming bushes, cutting grass, small mulch jobs, just like hooking up all our maintenance clients. But sometimes we'll just all come together like on something like this. I'll bring them all here, you know, just have a few steps, get a few steps done. But yeah, and then we have a project crew. So it's myself, my dad, and then we have one other guy who works with us. So next year my plan is I want to find like one other really good guy to add to the project crew, which will kind of free me up to keep getting us good work and things like that. Nice.
So I was on my way here. I drove past one of you got, how many trucks you got? Because I seen one drove past me with an aluminum dump.
He dropped me off here. I made him drop me off here. But so we have 2 dump trucks. We technically have 3 pickup trucks, but my first one, it doesn't even work anymore. It's like a shop ornament, like literally. But yeah, so we have 2 dumps. I have a 350 pickup, and then I have a 150 pickup, which I drive around a lot. Basically, I got it last year because we pretty much knew gas was going to go up. So it pretty much paid for itself just because I was driving my 350 pickup and I was running through gas. I'd go through a tank of gas in like a day and a half, just driving to appointments, job sites, all that. I was like, I got to get something better. So I got a 2018 pickup, like a 2.7 liter EcoBoost, but the gas is just, it's such a huge difference that it literally, I think, makes me money as opposed to losing money buying another truck, you know? So those are kind of little things you got to think about sometimes. Yeah, so we just got the excavator, which helps a lot.
This is yours?
Yeah, this is ours.
This is impressive, man. This is another reason why I'm so happy I get to do these type of things now. 24 years old, how many trucks?
4.
4 trucks, a Kubota excavator.
Yeah, we just got this though. It's a big investment, but we have, so this is actually technically the biggest job, like number wise, that we will have ever done. But as soon as we finish this, we're going, like the next job will be the biggest job that we ever did. And then I have another one right after that that's even bigger than that. So it's just, I was like, I gotta get something. So
So
we just got this.
When I see stuff like this, because this isn't something that I do, and I'm like super impressed every time I come to a job site and it looks
I appreciate
nuts like this. I mean, this is great work. How did you get into this? Like, did your parents have a background in it or something?
Nah, my dad's actually a welder, and his company just shut down, so he's like with us full time. But I always liked building stuff. But then when I was became a teenager, like my uncle has a tree company. It's called Jungle Jim's Tree Service. Yeah, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, he did an estimate at my house for some storm damage.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's like one of the best climbers around, and like he's just a beast. So I grew up pretty much doing trees, but like I always liked building stuff. So I have a couple buddies who do things like this. So I went and literally would work with them for free just to learn. You know, that's one of those investments, and now it pays off. Obviously,
right? No doubt.
So I was never really scared to put the work in though. I've learned I have literally nothing better to do besides come out here and do some work, you know.
Make some money.
Yeah.
It's super impressive. So
yeah, and this stuff's super gratifying. Like when you take a tree down, the tree's just gone.
Right.
When you put something like this in and it stands for 30, 40 years, like I'm gonna be an old man and come back here and like show my kids or my grandkids like, yeah, we built that, you know.
Right. And also it like adds a ton of value to the customer's house, and not
that's
only
what I try and sell them on too.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to sell this house, like I mean, they're not gonna have to do this now, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely adds value, and that helps like with bigger jobs too. Like you put that in the customer's mind, and they're thinking, well, I might be getting out of here in like 10 years. Then they kind of think of it as like, am I really spending any money?
Right.
You know. So.
Right. Yep. They're definitely gonna get the value back out of it, and you can see this stuff is done right. Like once this wall's in, it ain't gonna budge.
Yeah. We're kind of like overdoing this one. Like there's more gravel in here than you really need. But I just really want it to last. So. Yeah, it's a lot. And we got the drain in the whole way, and we got it sloped up. You can see here, like this is the high point, and then it gradually grades down. You can't really see it on this side, but it gradually grades down to the outside. I mean, that's pretty important. Honestly, this shouldn't ever catch any water anyways, but if it does, then it'll go down.
Perforate it?
Yeah. Yeah, but the water's really supposed to come out through the front of the wall.
Well, I need some French drains done at my house, so I might have to have him come over.
We'll be happy to do it.
Do some French drains.
Gotta keep the shovel busy.
Yes, absolutely. So now we're gonna head over to Mark's shop, and we'll catch up with you guys when we get over there. I gotta say, I was not expecting this. We roll up. We ain't just doing the shop tour today. We got a yard tour, shop tour, equipment, everything. Mark's Multiple is absolutely killing it, man. And this is mind blowing to me. Check it out. I was not expecting all of this.
It's a pretty big mess right now, but I'll be honest, it was a lot worse before we like came in here and started working. Like this was all just weeds and piles of dirt. Obviously the bins were already there, which was nice, but I mean, we took down a bunch of trees. There's still a tree line there, and we knocked down like 20 trees along that fence. So this winter we're really gonna focus on tightening it up around
This is
here.
crazy, man. This is not what I was expecting.
You never drove past here?
No.
Nah, never?
You wanna I guess start in the back?
Yeah, so back here literally we've just been dumping a bunch of crap just because the prices on everything's so high. We're really gonna focus on this in the winter. So we got a new gate that we're buying for up there. And then obviously we're gonna clear all this out, and then I actually wanna build a wall back there so we can back our trucks over to a dumpster and dump right into the dumpster, and then be able to have a truck come in and pull the dumpster out. So that way we keep stuff flowing. So yeah, it's an absolute disaster right now, but you'll have that. I mean, there's always growing pains. We brought in like 4 triaxles and 3s in here just to keep everything from being too muddy all the time. Boneyard over here, we got some pallets, some old caps, stuff like that. I pretty much just keep leftovers from jobs, and then we may end up building that wall that I was talking about with all the leftovers. So hopefully I won't even have to buy any material for it. I did have these boulders delivered. It's always nice to have rocks on deck. We got some gravel here. We did have chips, but they all went to that wall that we're doing. And then there was a whole pile of gravel here, but we sent that out. We'll have to get some more of that.
Is this your trailer?
This is my trailer. This is the one we use for grass. It's hurting a little bit too. These are a little loose, but I mean, it's just that time of year where if you're making money, stuff's gonna be broken, stuff's gonna be a mess. But I mean, we're taking some time right now to clean some of the tools, but it's just how it is. I mean, everything's not always gonna be perfect.
No doubt.
Even if it is, and if it is, you're probably wasting your time doing something. I mean, maintenance is super important, but I mean, when you're hustling, stuff gets messy, and then every once in a while you gotta rebound and clean it up a little bit. So we got some more mulch over here, just some random rocks, some wood. We use that sometimes for our machine, trying to tear up some yards. Black mulch, we do a lot of black mulch, big black mulch guys. Some dead plants that we never watered. This is the equipment trailer. Pull the dingo on it or the excavator. I actually just got it for when we were getting the excavator because the guys were cutting grass and I was going to get it. And I was like, well, I need a trailer. So this one's pretty cheap, honestly. It's like super, like, if you hit these, like, you're going to mess them up. So you got to be careful, but when you break the bank, sometimes you're cool with getting something cheap, you know? A little topsoil, a little mushroom manure. My plan is to get build a cover over here to keep all that stuff dry, because you really don't want that wet. I mean, especially that topsoil, like I couldn't even use that now. That was just extra from a job. Like dump it in the bin. Same with the mushroom manure. Like you really don't want to use that wet stuff.
How come?
It's just, it doesn't break down as well. Like when it's dry, like you can feel the difference, you know? Like when you get it from a supply yard and they scoop it up out from under a big bin, like it's nice and fine. I feel like when you're planting like grass or something like that, it helps it germinate and grow quicker, because that's like real like packed together, so it's gonna be hard for seed and stuff like that to pop through. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a botanist, but that's my opinion on it from my experience. I will show you my old truck. This is my first truck. This thing has been through the ringer. It only has like 80,000 miles on it. But it, I'm pretty sure the timing chain went on it. And so it needs a new timing chain if anybody wants to buy it. But my main reason for keeping it is I got it all lettered up when it still worked. And I'm like, it's worth more to me right now probably than somebody else. Once we fix this place up, I'll probably just park it up on the hillside and that'll be our sign.
No doubt. So, this was your first truck?
This is my first truck. I bought this when I was like, I think I was 17, about to turn 18. It's an 05. But I mean, man, we kicked the crap out of this thing. We did grass with it. I did snow with it. I got the little plow over there. I had a plow on it. I had a spreader on it. And we were just always hustling out of this thing. Yeah, I would leave school. I had a job at a restaurant. And then once I had like, I don't know, I had like 4 or 5 yards, and I'm like, all right, I might as well just go cut these yards and I'll make the same amount as I'm making at this restaurant, which is what I thought. But what a lot of people who don't do this stuff realize is the overhead, you know? But when you're young, you really don't have that much overhead. But I mean, now it's insane. Like there's numbers that you have to hit. It's stressful. You think about it 24/7, you know? So.
Well, not everyone. Everyone don't think like that. Some people are just out here cutting grass. You're like a businessman. You're thinking way out in the future, and those guys are thinking for the weekend. Right. And that's the difference. So I like 24 years old, and I've done some shop tours with a 21-year-old guy, Talon, and just the thought process. I wasn't thinking like this at 24.
Yes.
So this is very, very powerful that people get to see these type of videos and get to see guys like that, because 24 years old and look at all of this.
See, and he's impressive too, because he's young and he's getting educated. Like, I didn't go to college or anything like that. I was just like, I'm just gonna go work. But like, sometimes I envy those guys too, because he's gonna know a lot before getting into it. Like, I had to learn a lot of stuff the hard way because I wasn't educated on everything, you know. Like, there's quite a few things I had to do over twice, you know, instead of just knowing from the beginning. But either way, I mean, that'll still happen. But I mean, a lot of the real bigger companies, like those guys, like they went to Penn State or Pitt and like learned actual landscaping, architecture, and stuff like that. And I don't have that background. I'm down to work and I'm down to learn. When I go home, I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
But no, I like the plows.
Yeah, they should be in a better spot right now. Yeah, this is the plow for that blue truck over there, so that doesn't really work anymore. But these are both fairly new. I just got this blue plow for the 350 dump. I got that last year for the winter. We got like one really big snow contract, and then we had like a bunch of little ones. So I really needed to have two. So and then this one's for that 450.
How long have you been doing snow?
Oh, I've been doing snow pretty much since I started. I was going to buy a snowblower, and my uncle was like, "Why don't you just buy a plow?" And I was like, he's like, "If you're gonna do it, just completely do it." And I was like, "All right." So I've kind of had that mindset since then. So I guess snow. I think I bought that plow in 2016, this little one. So we've been in snow for a while. Snow's the grind. Like, I probably won't do snow anymore. I'm just doing it in my 20s, because I mean, when we do snow, I'm up for at least 2 days. Like, even if it's just a dusting, like it's 2 days nonstop.
Snow is rough. This was my first year doing snow, or last year was my first year. This is my second, and it was extremely draining. Very lucrative, but extremely draining.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, while you're doing it, you're like, man, I'm beat, like I'm dead. But then you get the checks in a month, and you're like, okay, that was worth it. So you got to remember that in the moment. You're like ready to just break down and just say F it. Like, you just gotta keep going.
All right, so now we've seen the yard. Let's go take a look at the trucks and his other trailers, and inside the shop and meet some of his guys.
Cool.
Catch you over there. I only have one guy, and my son helps when he's here for the summer. So how do you go about getting your employees?
So it's funny, I have like this streamline of young guys because I play deck hockey and they all play deck hockey. So I just recruit the good kids.
Nice.
Like, if you're good at hockey, you can work here.
So
if you're not good at hockey, you probably can't work here.
So go play hockey and you could come hang out with the Pittsburgh landscaper.
It's because it helps with the weed whacking.
Oh.
You know how hard it is to teach someone to trim?
Yes.
But you get someone who's good at hockey, they can trim right away.
Go figure. I might need to come play some hockey.
That was the hardest thing to teach people, was how to trim. And then when I started hiring good hockey players, then it wasn't a problem anymore.
So if you're not good, then don't bother.
No, yeah, because then you're just gonna scalp yards, and then we're gonna have problems. So 2016 F350, had this since 2018. So I bought it used, and she's just a workhorse. She pulls the equipment, pulls the dump trailer, keep a toolbox on it. I really don't have much in here right now. Keep an air compressor in there, random weed whacker string. They were actually using this to cut grass yesterday, because we were using both dump trucks to run gravel. Just always switching stuff up. That's the one thing about working here, is you never know what the hell you're about to do today.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's nice that you got like pretty much all the type of equipment that you need.
I like when I'm going to get something, like, all right, can I use this for trees and like landscape construction? Like, I kind of think it that way. That's the XLT. I like that grill. That's one of my favorite things I have. That's kind of what sold me on it. At the time, that was like a huge investment, because I only had the blue truck, and I was like, I really need another one. And like, so like, this is like really expensive for back then, and but it was well worth it. And then he's gonna roll by with the 7x14 dump trailer that's very beat up because we definitely put it to work over the years. We normally haul like brush in it, logs, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that thing's a workhorse too.
This is the truck I drove past here.
Yeah, this is,
when I was on my way.
This is our newest dump. That's a 2020 350. It has the same engine as the pickup truck though. That's only a 6.2 liter. But we use it for grass for the most part. Aluminum bed's nice. It'll last longer. I learned that when my steel bed started rusting after like 6 months.
Oh, what's this Easy Latch?
Yeah, they're nice.
Did it come with that?
They came with it. This bed was super expensive, but that's all they had. But yeah, it's super nice.
Oh my gosh, I wish mine was like that.
Yeah, my other one, it sucks because it just has a pin that drops down through it. If there's tension on the tailgate, you gotta like kick it or hit it with a hammer or something.
That's the problem I always deal with.
Yeah, these are sweet though. I love this bed. Yeah, and the lights, they got the lights on it and everything.
Yeah,
so.
This is nice.
This will mainly be for our maintenance guys, especially next year. Like they'll pretty much just have this all the time, unless we're running a lot of gravel or block or something. Then we'll give them a pickup truck and we'll take this with the other dump truck for the project. I guess we got one more truck and then we can roll inside. This is my daily truck. This is the one that saves me gas money. 2018. She drives smooth. That thing is backing across town 3-4 times a day. Always going somewhere. I think I put 15,000 miles on it in like a year. So yeah, it's real nice. I keep a toolbox. I try and keep some things on me. Always, one thing I learned, the more tools the better. This is a mess right now. We've been going through it, but I got some returns for that job. Like little stuff like that on the job site. Like you don't want to send a dump truck full of gravel to go pick up like returns all the way to the supply yard. Like if you use this instead, you're either blowing a quarter tank of gas in the dump truck or like it's not even gonna phase this with gas.
Right.
You know. So little things like that, like you gotta think about little things like that. Alright, and we'll check out the mess inside.
Toro mowers, I see.
Yeah, we got all Toro now, except one of our push mowers is an excellent. Yeah, we got the 52-inch grandstand. Love this thing. I'll be honest, I haven't ran it in a long time, but they like it. We got a 48-inch walk behind. We have so many hills that we do, like so clutch. Around here, you gotta have a walk behind, especially in Penn Hills. Like a lot of our yards is Penn Hills, Churchill. So that's huge. We got a bagger for it. We got 2 accelerator bags over there, but those are pretty beat up. So I'm still fixing stuff that the guys that I had last year broke. So it's always fixing something. We got 2 commercial 30 inches. Those are kind of what we started off cutting grass with, like back in the day. I grabbed one and I was like, oh, this is sick. And so I grabbed another one. So we would just crush yards with 2 30s. Like we had like a list of like 35 yards we'd do in Penn Hills in a day, just with 2 30 inches.
Wow.
Yeah, and 2 22 inches as well, but we didn't really use those too much. And then we got a soil cultivator for the dingo. The dingo's not here. She's down bad right now. But this thing's sick. Putting in new lawns, we'll just come in. We'll just tear the whole thing up. There's metal tines under here that really just tear the dirt up if you put the machine on float. Obviously this needs cleaned. We blew a hydro line and then so it's all mucked up. But we bought this brand new. Everything literally in here we bought brand new. And like, so like we try and keep them nice, but we just work, man. We do a lot of work. And then I got the broom back here for the dingo as well. We were using that for snow. You can see the front of it up there. It's pretty sweet. We were using it for sidewalks. That thing's 4 feet wide and it'll throw some snow. Like when I first got it, I used it out here, just in the gravel just to test it out. And I flung gravel all over that building and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do that again. That was a mess. Keep some vacuums, power washer, those are both broke. Space heater for the winter, gotta have that. Air compressor. lots of chainsaws. Gotta have chainsaws. How many saws we got, Tom? 6? 7?
6 and then a full saw makes 7.
Full saw and 2 more full saws out of commission up top.
This is wild how big it is in here.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's pretty spacious if you use it effectively. We obviously, it's a mess right now. We're doing a bunch of cleaning. I still got salt from the winter. It's tough right now because we're like, I don't want to put too much into this place because I'm planning on moving into that other building.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a fine line between like still having a clear headspace to work, but also not wasting a bunch of time and payroll working in here when we're gonna be in there anyway.
Right.
So yeah, got some shelves, a bunch of weed whackers, hedge trimmers. I keep a box for all my climbing gear. Some ropes, some zigzags, a bunch of straps.
Oh. He said, "Who cares if y'all shooting a video? I'm gonna use this.
Still hear it?
I'm gonna use this air compressor anyway. Who cares?"
Got some space up in here. Keep your hockey sticks around. We actually just built this up a little bit over the winter. Like my guys keep like a timesheet over here. Just some storage down there. Some storage back here. We put these shelves in. It's just like something to do in the winter. Mm-hmm. We have a yard right by a golf course, and there's always, I don't even golf, but there's always golf balls in the yard, so they bring them back. So if anybody needs golf balls, I'll sell them to you $1 a pop. It's a space we use to hang out sometimes in the winter. We got a little heater right there. Got the mini fridge. I keep some Celsius on deck for the guys.
Mm-hmm.
These are really good. They're good clean energy drinks, at least I think, but who knows, we'll probably find out in 5 years they're not good for you. Cliff bars, energy bars. I like to just get my guys wired up. It's a good investment. Get your guys energy drinks, energy bars. You go to Sam's Club once a month, spend $300 and you can hook your guys up with some granola bars and some energy drinks. It goes such a long way, you know?
Definitely.
This is one of our hockey things, National Ball Hockey League. It's a new league. We won it last year. Pretty cool. So, my life's kind of split between hockey and work.
So if you could give a piece of advice to anyone thinking about getting in the business or already in the business but is very new, what would it be?
It would definitely be like figure out what you actually like to do, because I mean that's so important. Like one of the big perspective shifts that I've had is like you gotta actually enjoy the day. Like, because I mean every morning you're gonna wake up, and if you're doing something that you actually like you're dreading doing, I mean that's your life. Like you're just not gonna like your life, you know? So find things that you like, whether it's building walls, whether it's cutting grass, like that's cool. Like there's some premium landscaping companies who like their main gig is just cutting really nice grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and I like cutting grass too, like that was fun, but I always wanted to do more than that. Like there would be times where we were cutting grass and I would just get burned out. So find what you like to do. If you know somebody or can find somebody, maybe don't be on their payroll for an extended period of time, but go work with people who know what they're doing. Because there's going to be times where you're going to take on a new challenge, and it's going to help you a lot to have that experience with someone who already knew what they were doing. Because, I mean, either way, you're going to find stuff out the hard way, but as much as you can mitigate that, the more you can mitigate that, the better. So know what you like to do. Don't charge as much as you possibly can. Like you don't want to be gouging people, but you got to make your money, man. Like it was a little easier for me before, but now I got my dad on my payroll. I got my sister on my payroll. My mom in the future, I believe, will be working with us as well. So like I always keep that in mind when I'm bidding jobs. Like I don't have kids, I don't have a wife, but I have a family who has bills, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta make your money, and anybody who doesn't want to pay you what you're worth, you don't need them as a customer. There's so much work out here. There's 1,000 landscaping companies in Pittsburgh,
mm-hmm.
and we're all slammed busy. So there's no reason anybody should be lowballing, you know? And know your numbers. Like, if you don't know your overhead, it's gonna be really hard for you to bid that job. Like, how you would bid a job is gonna be different than how I bid a job, because our overhead's different. Like, that's just how it is. But yeah, know your numbers, know what you want to make, and you gotta be willing to put the work in. If you're not willing to put the work in, then you don't have a chance.
You don't have a chance.
There's no substitute for putting the work in. So
that's powerful advice right there. So put the work in, man.
Yeah.
Know your numbers. Put the work in.
People think there's a cheat code. There's no cheat code. Every successful person you see put the work in. It's not some magic trick. It just looks like a magic trick to people who don't put the work in. That's all there is to it.
No doubt.
Another reason it's important to know your numbers and really charge what you're worth is, like, if you have people working for you, like, you have to want them to grow. If you want your business to grow, you need to want your employees to grow. Like, you have to give them motivation and incentive to come in every day. Like, nobody wants to work for somebody who doesn't care about their future. So I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but, like, my guys, I tell them, like, here's how you can get a raise. I give them monthly bonuses. So, like, if it's $100 at the end of the month, then next month they only get like 50. Like, what I do wrong, you know? And then I'll tell them. So that comes, you got to bid the work right so you can pay your guys good, and you always have to keep growing so that they can continue to grow. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. I don't know who said that, but it was pretty good advice.
Yes.
So you're either growing or you're dying. I mean, there's a lot of big companies out there. People who run them, they're older, and they're not going to be around too much longer. And it's like, all right, well, who's going to fill their shoes, you know? And I know it's not only going to be us. That's why I like to keep good ties with all these landscaping companies. It's really important for all of us to interact together. That's why I like what you guys are doing with the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. Like, this is cool. Everyone can bounce ideas off each other. And the reality is, we're only going to make the industry better by doing those things. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm doing good, so you can't do good. Like, that's the worst mentality to have, and it's wrong. Everybody can do good. So yeah, that's my spout of advice, I guess. Just take care of your guys. You gotta take care of your guys.
I think that's super
They're the most
cool.
important.
Right, I think it's super cool because at the end of the day, like, when I come talk to guys who are in this industry, the guys who are actually trying to do something for the future, they got this mentality, the same mentality he's talking about, where they want to see other people win. And the people who aren't like that, they're gonna fall by the wayside, no doubt, because you'll get left in the past. This is an ever-growing industry that we're in, and you have to be able to talk to other people. That's why places like Apple, or, you know, these big corporations where we use all of their things, they got boards and everything like that, because you need to be able to bounce ideas and everything off people. So these encounters for me are like super invaluable. So I encourage anyone who's out there, you might want to do a shop video, hit me up on Instagram, Mac_landscaping. I really appreciate your time, brother.
You already know. Thank you guys for coming, checking us out. Follow us on the gram at Pittsburgh Landscaper.
Nice. And we're out.